From the Giants Center in Hershey, it's the District 3 Class AAA quarterfinals as the 7th-seeded Manheim Central Barons take on the number 2 seed West York Bulldogs. Good evening, everybody. Thanks to tuning in to BRC 11 and our continued coverage of high school basketball. Alongside Mike Straub, I'm Eric May. And Mike, the emotion and the train just keeps right on rolling for the Manheim Central Barons.
Yeah, here you go, district playoffs. Here's how they got here earlier this week. Conrad Weiser back at home in the nice, quiet gym at Manheim. Well, it wasn't quiet that night, but it feels nice and tight compared to where we are tonight. Taylor Funk battling start to finish, just a freshman, as we always say. Andy Orr, the star for Conrad Weiser, put his team on his back when they needed to. What a back-and-forth battle this was. Manheim trailed for long periods in this one. They found a way to hang around. They had the lead late in the game. They let it slip away. Conrad Weiser forces overtime in OT. Somehow the Barons come together. Really, Matt Walsh puts on a show inside, outside, both ends of the floor, as he does so well. Sometimes you forget he's just a junior. And then this crucial miss at the end and a nice rebound. It's Walsh coming away with it, and the Barons win, and they get to this stage, this place. You know, when you're a coach and you're a player, you're back there in training camp running all those suicides, maybe somebody says, you know what, we worked extra hard today. We might have a chance to play at the Giants Center come February or March. So here they go. Here's their opportunity.
Well, we have seen Manheim Central, especially with their defense, the way that they trap, force a lot of turnovers. Well, West York did that in their game against Milton Hershey the other night. Really set the stage, and I'll give Milton Hershey credit. They battled back, and it ended up being a track meet. Highest point total for the season for West York, and they put up 87 points. So the question is, are we going to see that type of offense from West York, or are we going to see a low-scoring game tonight?
Well, West York has the ability to shut teams down defensively. If you look at their record, they only have 2 losses, both to very quality Central York and York High teams. They can also score in bunches. They've got very quick guards, and they have the ability to shoot the 3-ball. Anytime you see a team put up 87, 70, 72 points a game, you know they can go outside in a hurry and fill it up. So I think we're in for a track meet. I think we're in for a bunch of threes, and it's going to be a great one.
It is Manheim Central and West York. We're back at the Giants Center with the starting lineups and the opening tip-off. That's coming up next on BRC 11. Welcome back into the Giants Center. We're just about set for basketball here on BRC 11. And you know, Mike, the thing is, we talked about West York and that defense. We saw what Conrad Weiser and the quickness of their guards kind of gave Manheim Central fits. So I think really their offense for Manheim Central tonight is going to be dictated on how well they handle the pressure.
Absolutely, absolutely. It'll come down to some shooting too. How you adjust to shooting in this building.
There's the starting 5. Casey Rice, Darian McCauley. Those are the 2 big guns for the Bulldogs. Noah Cable, Josh Bailey, and Nick Trentino round out the starting 5. For the Barons, a little smaller lineup tonight. They're going to go with Tanner Brenice, Tony Stafiri, Matt Walsh, Dan Riedericht, and Colin Brubaker. So we will see Taylor Funk coming in off the bench. Barons in their road gray. First time we've seen them in their road unis this season. They'll be moving left to right on the screen, and the opening tip. And it's going to go out of bounds. And it will be West York basketball.
And McCauley and Rice, the leading scorers on this squad. You know, they're both over 6 feet tall, but the lineup plays more like 4 guards and 1 big man. All 4 of the guards for West York can go inside, outside. They can move the ball, they can handle a rock, and there's Trentino's the big man down low.
West York had 4 guys in double figures the other night. They start out with a 3 from Rice, and it's off the mark. Riedericht with the board for the Barons.
And that's their game. You put 87 points a game, it's a lot of quick releases, not long possessions, not afraid to try to fill it up.
Stafiri, his pass picked off. Rice going back the other way, and that's going to be a foul on Stafiri.
Well, Stafiri, we talked about this, came back from injury, hasn't played in a ton of games. Immediately he feels the pressure from Josh Bailey all over him, and he just gives the ball away. A nervous start for Stafiri as the point guard on this Giants Center floor.
So Rice at the line to shoot 2. He's a 6-foot senior.
West York won 16 or 17 games in a row to start off this season.
14.
I was right in the neighborhood. But you get the idea. They've had their sights set on these sorts of games, these sorts of pressure situations all year long. This is right where they wanted to be and where they expected to be.
Barron's able to break the press. Oh, and turn it over. Back the other way. Up with the left hand is Noah Cable.
A great left-hand finish. Got to get a timeout. As you said, how do they handle the pressure? What's that going to be? Not well so far. Got to get a timeout and figure it out.
A very quick timeout used by Chris Sherwood. So the Bulldog defense creating the opportunities for the offense as Cable finished that off. And this is very reminiscent, at least for West York, the way this game started against Milton Hershey the other night. Creating turnovers, jumped out to an early 6-0 lead. Did expand on that, but again, as we mentioned, Milton Hershey did come back and really made it quite a close ball game. Now during this timeout, grab the remote, flip to channel 613 on your Blue Ridge station and watch this ball game in high definition. West York again will continue that pressure in the backcourt. Walsh with a nice bounce pass to Brenize, and now the Barons will go back out front and reset the offense. Walsh will fire up a three and get it.
Well, something we talked about, you don't play in a lot of gyms this size in your high school career. Takes a minute for your eyes to adjust. Matt Walsh knocks down his first jumper and nearly has a steal on the other end. Nice start for Walsh.
Bulldogs will work the perimeter. McCauley trying to go down the lane, had it knocked out of his hands. Possession stays with the Bulldogs as Taylor Funk will check in for Colin Burbaker.
You take a look, just in rhythm, takes the pass and knocks it down. It settles everybody's nerves for the Barons.
There's a three ball from Cable.
Wow, showing some poise right there. 6'7" Taylor Funk coming at him, puts up a rainbow that touches nothing but net.
So Cable with 5 first quarter points. Brenize from long range, can't get it to go. Funk tracking it down, able to save it, but into the hands of Weekly. Another one from the corner, it's Rice. Weekly, the offensive board. And Funk and Walsh there to knock it away. Safiri, nice no-look pass to Funk, and that shot's blocked. Here go the Bulldogs on the break the other way. Rice can't finish, but a good trail by Cable.
Another timeout by the Barons. Coach Sherwood has said to us before, his team can run with people, but it's transition defense that really gives them headaches. And how many opportunities right at the rim have we seen from West York just here in the first couple of minutes? They are really getting up and down the court, really getting their opportunities, and they control this game. Mannheim's had about one decent possession up to this point.
Well, I guess the first 2.5 minutes have kind of answered our question as to whether we're going to see a track meet or a slow down approach. Well, West York is off and running, looking to pick up where they left off the other night. As you look at Bill Ackerman, the head coach of the Bulldogs, graduate of Manheim Township. Brenize top of the key. Funk fires up a three, off the near side of the rim. Rice the rebound, nearly knocked away by Funk. Bailey gets bumped, and he will draw the foul.
Just look how quickly West York moves the ball to the other end of the floor and has a scoring opportunity. Just 2 passes. They spread the court really well. They know how to attack. And you get a real view right up close, right off the start here of how this team scores so many points, as you said. Really move the ball well and just fire at will.
Tanner Brenize with the personal foul. Josh Bailey hits the first.
The York County teams have really showed their strength really thus far in the district tournament. Central York knocking off Lebanon. York High knocking off McCaskey. Neither of those games were relatively even close.
Bailey with 1 out of 2 to make it a 7-point lead. Winner here will take on Bermudian Springs Monday night here at the Giants Center. Bermudian Springs a 52-29 victor over Boiling Springs. Walsh again for three. Won't go. McCauley the rebound and a long outlet to Weekly. There's Rice with a three. Boy, they just plant themselves back there and lock and load.
Well, they find the open spaces. You watch immediately, they find their positions. While Manheim is still looking around for who they're supposed to be covering, the ball's already shot in the bottom of the net.
Walsh one-on-one, nice crossover. But somebody got their hand in. I think that might have been Bailey that knocked it away.
A nice help defense from Bailey.
Weekly got it. Boy, right now West York just cannot miss. And that jumper by Weekly, that is 11 in a row now by West York. And they now lead it by a score of 15-3.
That didn't take long at all. What a run by the Bulldogs. As we said, this team has been poised for this kind of a run, poised for these kinds of games from very early on in this season. They've got their sights set on a district championship. They lost in the semifinals of their league tournament, which probably only was one of those situations where it brings them even more together, give them more time to work out those kinks, and they've come into this district tournament just on a roll. They were tested by Milton Hershey, but they still put up 87 points in that game.
Well, they lost to York, as you mentioned, but they had defeated York earlier in the season by a score of 74-72. But in that semifinal matchup, they dropped a 4-point loss, 70-66. But they've also posted 80 points in a win against Kennardale, and they beat them 85-64.
We get our first look at their bench now as Kyle Ensig and Diego Torres come in, a pair of junior guards.
So the Barons in an early hole, down 12 with 3:50 to go in the first quarter. And this Bulldog defense, they really come out on you too. Stafiri working on Ensig, and he bumps him, and that'll be a foul on Ensig, his first.
If you look, this is probably the longest half-court possession Manheim's been able to maintain. Ends in a miss underneath.
And a one and done for the Barons on that possession. Well, you can see the shooters just all lined up on that perimeter. Just inside the line, off the mark from Cable. Walsh the rebound, and now Stafiri will push it up the floor. Wiederick, too long. Rebounded though by Brenice.
It's a nice rebound to keep possession alive, but it's not what you want to see from the Barons right now. It's not time to just run down and chuck up threes. It's a big gap right now, but there's plenty of time. Have some nice possessions, fall back into your rhythm, find your game, and work your way back into this ball game.
Clock winding down, 2.5 minutes to go, first quarter. And I'd say last touch by Torres. And another substitution for West York. Nick Trotino, 6'1" junior, will check in. Josh Flanagan and Colin Brubaker back in for the Barons. Going to replace Wiederick and Brenice. Funk eyes up a three. That's too long. And we're going to get an offensive foul against Flanagan. Trying to get some position down low.
Yeah, there's a little bump in the back. Ref was standing right there. waiting to make that call on a long rebound. Well, Funk started cold from three-point land against Conrad Weiser on Tuesday night. Then he made some big threes down the stretch. The way the score is now, you sure would like to see him find his range a little sooner.
Clayton Fry now in the ball game, giving Rice a break. From the corner for three, rolls off from Trentino. Barron's looking to make something happen here in the final minute and a half of the first quarter, but Flanagan loses it in the backcourt. He picks it up, and they're going to get a jump ball. And possession will stay with Manheim Central.
Oh, great hustle from Josh Flanagan. Loses that ball to the quick, speedy guards underneath, but doesn't give up on it, fights for it, at least forces the jump ball to get possession back to the Barons.
Funk for three, got it.
He heard me.
Yeah, he heard you the other night, too.
Yep. Shooters keep shooting, that's what they do. A couple more of those, and the score will be right back in this game.
Torres thought about a three, passed up on it. Down low in the paint, Fry can't get that to go. Rebounded away by Brubaker.
And a nice defensive possession for Manheim to build on. Good hustle, force some bad passes, force a rush shot, and come away with the rebound.
Under a minute to go. Walsh going down the lane, draws the foul. And we have seen that numerous times, Mike, where Walsh will see even just the slightest opening and just weave his way down the lane.
And that's what really needs to happen right now. A couple more possessions where Walsh can do that. A chance here, draw some fouls, score without the clock moving, slow down the pace of West York. It's probably something Coach Sherwood said in these timeouts. But also, you give credit to West York once again. I think they got that scouting report. They're doing a great job denying Walsh the ball. He's taking a look at this drive. He's able to slide, pass weakly, and get that contact and go to the line.
Walsh gets 1 out of 2. Down low. Oh, McCauley is left open, and easy lay-in for McCauley.
Well, Manheim tries to trap on the sideline there, but West York too quick. And as we said, so good at finding these open spaces, getting up and down the court. Doesn't matter how good the trap is, the guy's wide open underneath the hoop.
Under a half minute in the first quarter. Well, huge if Manheim Central can get some points here to end the first quarter and try and carry it into quarter number 2. Walsh will stop and fire. Can't get it to go. Flanagan a strong board, and they're going to get an offensive foul on Flanagan.
And that's the hard part. Just battling down there, hustling, final seconds, down by 10. West York, perfect position to draw that foul. Get a call to go their way.
You know, once you lower that shoulder, you open yourself up. Here's Waderick firing it up and off the top of the backboard to end the first quarter. And a strong one for the Bulldogs. They run out to a 10-point lead at the end of one. West York up 17-7 when we return to the Giants Center after this timeout on BRC 11. Grab the remote, flip it up to channel 613 and enjoy the contest in high definition. Here at the Giants Center as we start the second quarter, West York up 17-7. Eric May with Mike Straub and the Barron defense forcing a turnover. Zafiri to Flanagan, and a nice start to get the second quarter underway.
A lot of contact, no call, and that ball's right out of bounds. Oh! One's coming right at us. I'm going to say Flanagan touched that, but I really think that Josh Bailey just miscommunicated with his teammate and threw the ball out of bounds. But another nice bit of pressure. And this is that trap with Flanagan at the top that usually results in the most turnovers for the Baron defense. And there you go.
Well, they got a travel called on Ian Lalick.
It's risky against a team like this that can clearly fire threes from everywhere. This is really going to test the quickness of Flanagan at the top to get to those wings and deny these three-point shooters.
So it's DeFeary, Wiederick, Walsh, Brenice, and Flanagan on the floor. Nice give to Flanagan. He couldn't finish it. Little too hard on the lay-in, or attempted lay-in. Last touched by the Barons.
It was a fantastic pass. Great drive. Everything sets up there perfectly. Flanagan, just as you said, goes in just too amped up for the moment and misses.
McCauley to his left, going in strong, hits the underside of the backboard. Here comes DeFeary leading the break. Nice spin, and able to draw the contact and the foul. And that will go on Lalick, his first. Third team foul against the Bulldogs.
Well, 1 minute into the second quarter, the Barons should really already have 6 points on the scoreboard. You think about they let one go right there. They already missed one layup. They got that early bucket. You got to be very happy with the change of confidence and tempo already from the Barons in this quarter.
DeFeary, a 64% free throw shooter. Will get 1 out of 2. Bulldog lead is 7. Weakley, nice pass down low to Rice, and he's able to battle his way inside to lay it in.
Nice job by Rice there, showing some of his poise and athleticism, kind of hang and hit underneath with big Matt Walsh right on him.
7 points for Rice. And Barons will move it around, try and work it in low to Brenice, who feels the trap and goes back out top to Walsh, who hits a 3. Second of the ball game for Walsh.
Perfect bailout on a bad possession. I mean, Tanner Brenice trying to post up parallel to the backboard is not a good place to receive the ball. Possession is saved by a Walsh 3.
That one's going to be man-on central ball. And now we're starting to see the Baron defense get settled in now.
Well, we love that trap. Every time we see that on Blue Ridge Cable 11, we give it kudos. We love when they put Flanagan at the top. Now we got a timeout on the floor because West York's going to make some adjustments. That defense is high energy. Kids love to play in that kind of defense. We tell them just attack the ball and get all over the court. It's more fun than just chasing a guy around man-to-man. And it's lit a fire under them right now. They've brought a fresh energy.
Well, and you think, obviously, too, they have now settled down offensively. You know, and like you said earlier, no sense to be chucking up the threes. There's a lot of basketball to play. Let Manheim Central just play their style of basketball, and you can see they've chipped away. I mean, what was a 12-point lead now is down to 6.
Down to 6. You have the ball. You got West York back on their heels a little bit now. I mean, West York was just running it right down their throats in the first few minutes. Right now, they're thinking about their passes a bit more, thinking about where they're out on the court. And if Walsh can kind of get that hot hand going, when he starts making a few shots, suddenly everybody can make a shot or two. It's just the absolute fuel for this team to keep them going.
Well, you add Funk into that mix, too.
Yeah.
If he starts to find his stroke from beyond the 3, that's going to pull the West York defense out a little bit. And then that's where we see Walsh work that one-on-one. DeFeary goes back out, and they're going to get DeFeary with a travel, and that's the same thing we saw the other night with Conrad Weiser.
I knew you were going to say that. Although DeFeary doesn't quite have it down to the system that Pierce Brocious had it to where it was 2 feet. DeFeary kind of jumped off 2 feet and then landed on 2 feet. It was a little bit long.
Okay. Under 5.5 remaining. Rice in the paint, McCauley, and that rolls off the front of the iron. Now things have kind of gone cold for the Bulldogs.
It's the Taylor Funk factor. I think he's a guard, all of a sudden he's 6'7".
Walsh with a nice spin.
And we said, get Walsh moving to the basket, attacking in the paint. He does a great job getting right to the rim and laying it in. 4-point game.
9 points in the game for Walsh. Rice from the corner, won't go. Funk the rebound.
I had it ready. You know, great players have that dagger response ready to go. And Casey Rice lined up the three, but it doesn't go.
Here's Walsh. That won't go. Bailey the rebound, pushing it up the floor. Lead pass to McCauley, and it's too long.
Well, McCauley plays that one, or excuse me, Brubaker plays that one like a safety. Just kind of waves his arm in front of McCauley's face, hits him in the hands, and goes out of bounds. Taking a look at the pass. Little defense, just enough to throw off McCauley.
Barons again able to get it across the midcourt stripe. Here is Stafiri weaving his way down, able to draw the foul. And Stafiri will go to the line to shoot two.
Great recognition by Stafiri that time. He can tell that Weekly is looking for him to make that dish, so he goes straight at him to the rim. But you'd love to see him finish that. There's not a ton of contact there. Weekly's backing away. Those are the moments you got to be strong with the ball and look for these three-point plays.
Trentino back in for West York. Going to replace Parker Weekly, who will sit down with his second personal foul. And Stafiri gets both free throws, and it is now a 2-point ball game.
That is hard to believe. I mean, a minute ago, it was 15-3. Felt like it at least. Now still almost 4.5 to go in the half, and it's a 2-point game. What a response from the Barons.
Quick hands by Brubaker, getting the turnover, but trying to save it, stepped on the sideline.
That's not going to make Coach Sherwood happy, but you still love to see that intensity. That's pretty much Flanagan running into his own guy, knocking him out of bounds, but still getting their hands on it, shaking things up, just fired up, do it again right here.
McCauley looking down low. Here's Bailey, long three, got it.
Everybody on this team can shoot threes apparently. So McCauley lines that one up from beyond the three-point line, and it was a no-doubter. Great response from Josh Bailey to stop the bleeding.
Walsh works his way up around three defenders, but the Bulldogs force the turnover, and Bailey draws a foul. That's going to go on Colin Brubaker.
Oh, you know what's interesting about this Bulldog response is it looked like as this run was going against them, they were looking for McCauley and Rice to bail them out, looking for those guys to make the shots or make the drives, and they couldn't get anything to go. All of a sudden, Josh Bailey says, I'll just do it on my own. Knocks down a three with a hand in his face, takes off after the steal, draws a foul, gets to the line, and single-handedly settled back down the Bulldogs around him. Just a sophomore.
When the rotation of off the bench continues for both teams. Then again, when you play that up-tempo style, you're going to need to go to the bench. Bailey gets both free throws. 7-point lead for West York. And there's Bailey getting his hands, but the Barons get it back. Walsh, nice give.
They don't get back. West York responds just like that. Oh, but what a rebound, Tanner Brenice.
Well, he just ripped it right out of the hands of Chase Niederer.
Walsh trying to do too much. Wiederick isn't in position to make that drive. The defense is back. The only thing Walsh can do there when he goes back and looks at that one is pull this back out or just attack and look for a foul. Going back a play, a great give by the freshman Funk to Walsh in transition.
Niederer in strong. Baron defense collapsing in on him, and it's tapped out front, controlled by Stafiri. Under 3 to go. I would think here, Manheim Central's just going to try and set, well, take it back. Funk's shot is off the mark. I was going to say they're going to settle in and just kind of reset the tempo.
Well, Funk caught his man out of position. He's your shooter. You don't mind him taking that shot.
Tratino. He gets in on the scoring with a 3.
All they do is shoot threes. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean that every guy, you got to defend them all the way out to the three-point line. Every one of these Bulldogs will fire from out there, and we've seen a bunch of them have the ability to hit.
Brent Eyes will kick it out front to Walsh. Real long 3. Look at that one.
That is beyond NBA range for Matt Walsh.
Tratino another 3. Off the back of the iron. Stafiri the rebound. He's going to push it up the floor. Weaves his way inside. Bailey, and it rolls off the front of the rim. What a nice move by Stafiri.
Yeah, for some reason they think Stafiri's always going to pass. Watch the defense just cling to him. But here, Walsh from way, way outside. We talk about the great players having that response mechanism, that answer built into their arsenal. That was Matt Walsh right there. I was going to say, they keep thinking that Stafiri is going to dish. This is his 3rd time getting the line, just driving to the rim. The defense is late to collapse to him. They're not stopping the ball. You give credit to Stafiri, doing a nice job to knock down his free throws, as Walsh and Funk will both take a short breather.
Boys, that first step, too, off the crossover, the acceleration Stafiri has just gives him that advantage. So he gets both free throws, and it's a 3-point ball game with 1:48 to go before halftime. Lob pass almost got away from Bailey.
A more traditional zone from Manheim now, just kind of your basic 2-1-2 or 2-3, depending on where the players are. Nearly stolen.
So now West York will slow things down. Still working that perimeter. Rice from the corner gets the near side, and the rebound cleared out by Wiedericht.
Great defense from the Barons. It's interesting. You're basically saying, come on, shoot some threes against a team that loves to do it, but you defend the ball well and you clean up the boards. Nicely done.
Well, nice crossover by Young, and he'll draw the foul.
Love that. So you've got Stafiri, Funk, and Walsh all on the bench. Who's going to step up? You get a great defensive stop. Then you get a fantastic drive from Steve Young to create and get to the line.
Diego Torres whistled for the personal foul. Now Young is 51% at the free throw line.
Minute to go. Get 1 to go here. All you really want if you're Coach Sherwood right now is to keep this thing close in the final minute. You're down 15-3. You never thought you'd be within single digits going to the half. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game. You keep it right here going to the half. Really, you have all the momentum.
Boy, if they could somehow go to the break with the lead, that's a nice momentum to go into the second half.
Well, I think even if they're within 2 or 3, it feels like you're in the lead. When West York takes one last look at that scoreboard and sees it this close, they're going to think, what happened? I thought this game was over in the first couple minutes.
It sure looked that way.
That's what West York thought.
Now Bailey looks to the bench. Bulldogs are going to set up for a final shot.
If you're Manheim, you say, do it. We'll happily go to the break. 2-point game, 4-point game.
You can hear Chris Sherwood saying, back it in. And here we go. Tratino fires it across. Torres had it knocked away.
Ooh, and a foul. Couldn't ask for anything better. Creative turnover, calls a foul.
Wow. Nice hands by Brubaker to disrupt that dribble.
And it's a 1-and-1 opportunity. They get a chance to tie the line. And that's what I mean. Now think about the dejection going to the locker room. You're supposed to have the last shot, even if you don't get a free throw.
So Tanner Brenneyes at the free throw line. 6-foot junior. Averages 3 points a game. 49% from the charity stripe. off the back of the iron. Loose ball. Rice will heave it up, and that will end the first half. Well, what started out as a West York domination, Barons have battled back. We go to the break with the score. West York 27, Manheim Central 25. Back to recap the first half after we take this timeout on BRC 11. Back at the Giants Center here at halftime, Eric May, Mike Straub, 27-25, West York, and really, Mike, in what was a tale of two quarters for each team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, just like we said, West York walked off the court. They looked at the scoreboard and said, how did that happen? Because if you remember the first quarter, the Bulldogs off and running, layups in transition, creating turnovers, burying threes. There was a stretch there where they couldn't miss. When Weegley hit this jumper, all of a sudden everybody's looking at each other saying, all right, now even that guy can shoot jumpers. Everybody in this team can shoot threes. Everybody getting up and down the court. Manheim fans are saying, when does football season start? Do we have a good baseball team this year? Because basketball season was over as this first quarter was coming together. However, the Barons, they made one defensive adjustment. They went to that kind of trapping zone. They got a few jumpers to drop, Matt Walsh in particular. Taylor Funk gets one to go. And all of a sudden, they had some more energy. How about Staferi driving and creating for others? Also getting to the line a bunch in that half. A guy who we've said again and again, came back from injury this year, hasn't played a ton, done a great job making the adjustments to this press. Let's not say that Manheim's done a great job handling the press, but they've made the adjustments necessary to get into their game and to let Matt Walsh make some threes like that. What a half for Matt Walsh. What a job by Manheim in that second quarter. It was 15-3 at one point. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game at the half. That means all the momentum is with these Barons right now.
As you look at the leading scores, it is Matt Walsh leading everybody with 14 points. And as Mike mentioned, West York did have a 15-3 lead in the first quarter, but the Barons responded in the second quarter by outscoring West York 10-2 to open up that second quarter. And I think really the big key for Manheim Central is everybody settled into their roles. And once that happened, things started to click.
We talked about it after they won on Tuesday night. There's going to be a moment where you look around and say, where are we? This is one of the biggest arenas in the state. It takes a minute to adjust here. West York, they've been focused on this all year long. There was no need to adjust to the surroundings. They knew it. They were focused on this. They had no problems. It took Manheim a couple minutes to find their game in this building, in this environment, and they had no problem.
We're going to step aside when we come back. Third quarter action on BRC 11. Barons will have the ball first, trailing by a bucket. As we mentioned, the winner back here Monday night at 6:30 to take on the winner of Bermudian Springs, who is the number 6 seed. They knocked off the number 3 seed, Boiling Spring Bubblers, by a score of 52-29.
A trap leads to a turnover in the early goings for Manheim. Open look.
Wide open 3, and that rims out from Cable. Walsh for 3. Short on it. Ball tipped around. Barons regain possession. And the outlet nearly taken by Rice.
Well, Sherwood's got to think about a timeout immediately. Everybody's just a little bit lackadaisical. They look a little too overly confident, a little too cute with their passes, passing it right into the corner or dribbling right into the corner like it's nothing, allowing West York to trap twice. Nearly a turnover every time they touch the ball. Got to find that sense of urgency they had in the second.
Wiedericht on the drive. That's knocked away by Rice, and that's going to be a foul on Wiedericht as he basically just mugged McCauley going for the rebound.
I liked Wiedericht taking that shot. He's a guy who's got to find some rhythm so far. No points in this game. He had 19 points in that big win over McCaskey. He's a guy who can score. If he can get something going, it'll be huge here in the second half.
Yeah, you figure if other guys step up, that'll take pressure on Walsh, and it'll make the West York defense really think about who to who to be guarding here. Here's McCauley to his left. Won't go. Rebounded, and we're going to have a foul. That's going to go on McCauley. That'll be number 1 on McCauley. First team foul against the Bulldogs.
So West York comes out a little bit cold to start the half. Both teams just look a little stiff after that time back in the locker room.
Well, things kind of went cold for West York in that second quarter as well. They went a pretty good stretch without many points. Stafiri will take it out front to set it up for the Barons.
Now Stafiri had Weekly on him there for a moment, didn't attack.
Funk's 3 is off the mark. Stafiri with the offensive rebound and a couple of head fakes, and he got the Bulldog defenders off their feet and able to draw the foul.
Smart play, and he draws it against K.C. Rice, the Bulldog star. Only be his second foul, but every little bit counts when you start thinking about the fourth quarter in a game this tight.
Stafiri has been solid here. All of his points have come from the free throw line. He's now 6 out of 7.
Proving to be a valuable weapon in this gym to get to the line and put away most of your free throws.
Of course, as I say that.
Oh, somehow they give that ball to West York.
Chris Sherwood can't believe it.
Tanner Breni's causing some havoc. He had a better view than us.
So the lead is 1 for the Bulldogs. Bailey, high arcing shot won't go. Wiederick clears it out for Manheim Central. Stafiri almost slipped between that trap of Rice and Bailey.
But that's what I mean. Stafiri trying to get too cute there. You know that trap is there. You know it's waiting for you. Trying to split it is just asking for trouble.
Walsh will kick it out front. Stafiri down low. Funk short on the shot. Tipped around. Regained by Manheim Central. Well, that's one Funk knew he had to finish. And they're going to foul out front.
Little bump from McCauley. He's not happy with it. Manheim plays pretty physically offensively. They like to run hard screens. Even when they've got the ball, they're not afraid to look for a little extra contact. Stafiri's done it well tonight. Look at Matt Walsh doing it. There's a perfect example. Knocking over his defender. He knows he wants to draw that charge. He's not going to give it to him, and scores the ball.
And the Barons, for the first time tonight, have the lead at 28-27. You know, we said it the other night. Big-time players want the ball, and Matt Walsh is elevating himself to that level. And he will pick up the foul.
And that goes against Funk.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better than for Manheim Central, because we've seen situations where Walsh has sometimes gotten himself into foul trouble. For Funk, that's just his first.
Very close to over and back. They say that Weekly didn't touch it.
Nice give down low to Rice, and well, he just gets hammered underneath. Breni's with the foul.
And Walsh kind of misses out there too. Walsh was crashing in from behind. He could have gotten that foul call. Now Walsh has 16 points and no fouls so far.
Rice now 3 out of 3 from the line. Fry back in the ball game for West York. Well, you don't sit still very long on the bench, that's for sure.
Yeah, neither side. I think both coaches like certain matchups on the floor at all times. And kind of a chess match to constantly have the right players, and offensively and defensively. They'll switch just for a possession at a time.
So we are knotted at 28. .420 left, third quarter. Rice is matched up on Walsh. Boy, Stafiri had Bailey on his side after crossing over, but almost lost it, so they reset it. Flanagan with a strong move in with the left hand.
Flanagan's such a spark plug. Sometimes it's attacking the glass and just grabbing a rebound. Sometimes it's blocking a shot. That time, you don't expect him to make that drive at that moment, but suddenly puts the ball on the floor, gets to the rim, and scores with a kind of backdoor spin. Love that stuff.
And Flanagan had a pretty nice ball game coming off the bench. Really battled Andy Orr the other night. And he's called on again. And the Barron defense again will force the turnover and a foul in the backcourt.
And that's a great moment of competitiveness from Stafiri. You can just kind of give in there and accept the jump ball and think, oh, you know, I'm kind of caught in traffic.
West York will use a timeout. Will step aside. 3:30 left, third quarter. The Barons up 2. Now once again, Matt Walsh stepping up for the Barons.
You knew he'd have to have a big night. I don't think he thought he'd have to have this big a night, but he has risen to the occasion, doing all that's asked of him and more. He's doing a nice job creating for others as well, but really it's his ability to score when they've needed him the most. They were down a bunch early, inside and outside. They've tried 3 different defenders on him at different times. Nobody has an answer. 16 points, no fouls. What a night for Matt Walsh through about 2.5 quarters of play.
Stafiri working on Fry. Funk down low. Can't get it to go. Didn't square up to the bucket, and then Walsh couldn't track it down in the corner. Yeah, you must think Funk has to square up to the basket.
These are the only moments when Taylor Funk still looks like a 9th grade basketball player. I mean, the guy is so polished and so good for somebody who's just a freshman, and sometimes he gets underneath and he just freezes. Doesn't just go up strong like he knows he can. It just comes with experience.
Rice will back it out. West York ready to bring in another set of substitutions. Well, the Barron defense making West York really think here. Fry gets it in the corner. Rice has a good look, and he finishes it.
That's all they wanted to do that entire possession. You could see it. They were just trying to set up Rice for a 3. And for the longest time, Funk was doing a great job denying. They found a way to drive and kick, and it results in that 3 they wanted.
Stafiri's pass intended for Flanagan, picked off by Rice, and he'll coast it in. Boy, like Rice was zeroed in on Stafiri and stepped in front of the pass and took it coast to coast.
It's another perfect example of what we were talking about, the big-time players having that response mechanism. Brenai strong enough there to draw a foul. You know, smaller player might just give up that steal. He creates enough havoc to draw the contact.
Yeah, you see it for Walsh. 16 points on the night. Clayton Fry was called for that last personal foul. That is now 14 fouls against the Bulldogs, 2 against Manheim Central, with 1:45 to go in the third. Stafiri rifles the pass underneath. Last touched by West York.
Great pass, great look by Stafiri. Love to see Flanagan be able to just come up with that, because then he's right underneath the hoop. And credit the Bulldogs, they're starting to make the adjustments, starting to cut down these passing lanes that Stafiri's been able to exploit early in the game.
Oh, and the inbound pass hits the back side of the backboard. Break for the Bulldogs. Here's Rice. Nice give down low to McCauley, and sandwiched between two Barons, able to draw the foul. It will go on Wiedericht.
West York starting to find that rhythm again, starting to find those passes. Sherwood could feel it. See that timeout on the floor. Because all of a sudden West York finding those cracks in the defense.
So Chris Sherwood using a 60-second timeout with 1 minute and 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. West York has regained the lead and up by 3.
Kevin K.C. Rice, senior guard, showed the ability to shoot the 3, leading scorer for this Bulldog team. That was a gorgeous bucket in the first half, hanging in traffic and scoring. And in the third quarter here, a 3 from deep in the corner. Followed that up with a steal in transition. Kevin Rice, he's kind of the motor right now for the Bulldogs, putting them back in front.
He had 7 points at halftime. He has 6 here in the in the third quarter. Bulldog lead is 3.
Well, West York's been in some close games this year. You said a battle right to the finish against Milton Hershey in the opening district game, 87-83, is a friendly shove from coach to Rice there. So you know that they're going to respond. Just because they gave up a big lead doesn't mean they're just going to roll over. They'll know how to battle right to the end.
Bulldogs on the season average 69 points per game. They give up 55. McCauley's first trip to the free throw line, and he hits the first.
I had a mid-Penn coach who will remain nameless say to me once he hated playing York County teams and districts because it felt like his players didn't give them the respect they deserved, and they always played so scrappy, whistle to whistle. Every quarter he thought the energy of the York County teams, the way they beat up on each other all season long, is just a different kind of physical play than maybe a lot of mid-Penn teams see.
Almost forced the turnover. Barons will get it across the midcourt stripe, but not easily. Walsh from the corner, off the front of the iron. Funk, though, with an offensive rebound. And now it's starting to be to the point where somebody else from Manheim Central is going to have to pick up the scoring beside Walsh. Wiedericht in strong, and he draws the contact. So Dan Wiedericht will go to the free throw line. As Kyle Ensig will pick up the personal. That's his second.
You're exactly right. There's a little bit too much of watching Matt Walsh with the ball amongst his own teammates. Wiedericht feels an opening and attacks. He loved that. He's a guy who's got to get something going as we get into the fourth quarter.
Wiedericht comes up empty on both free throws. Remains a 5-point Bulldog lead. Down low, McCauley again somehow able to slip behind the Baron defense, but could not finish that one off.
And when I say they're watching Walsh, look how tightly McCauley's playing. Somebody's going to run up there and set a screen that far away from the ball just to create a little separation and let you get into your half-court set. Instead, they're just waiting there, watching Walsh struggle against McCauley. 40 feet from the basket.
These guys have got quick hands, too.
Yeah.
Barons have really faced a difficult task here in the last 2 games with the opposing team's guards. Final seconds, Stafiri off the glass, won't go. And the horn sounds to end quarter number 3. And West York has battled back to take the lead. We head to the final 8 minutes here at the Giants Center. It is West York 35, Manheim Central 30, back with the fourth quarter on BRC 11. Well, still time to Watch this contest in high definition, channel 613 on Blue Ridge Communications. As we start the final 8 minutes, Eric May, Mike Straub. Low scoring quarter, won by West York 8-5. So definitely the defense tightening up, and missed opportunities though for both teams at the offensive end as well.
You said it, but it also proves again West York can adjust to games. They need to crunch down defensively. They can do that. Need to score in bunches. We've seen they can do that too.
Trentino way out front. The floater from Ensing won't go. McCauley, though, with an offensive rebound, and that is going to be Stafiri with the foul. No, take that back. Brubaker.
Mannheim got what they wanted there. Forced a bad runner from Ensing. Just couldn't clean up the rebound. Now they go back to work defensively again.
McCauley, baseline. Well, he keeps finding his way down there on the low post.
Yeah, he's got a great strength and kind of a hidden lankiness down there, an ability to kind of stretch out his body in different ways, to sneak through cracks in the defense, draw some contact, and then get to the line.
He's just a sophomore. 5 points in the ball game now for McCauley. Flanagan back in for Mannheim Central. Wiedericht draws the foul and tries to finish it off, but he'll go back to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Got to get a few of these to go. All of a sudden you're down 7. 7 becomes double digits in a hurry.
The Barons 1 for 4 in the third quarter at the free throw line. They're now 8 out of 16 for the ball game. Wiedericht with his first points. Back the other way, Trentino. They run the floor so well.
That was a set play. They sprinted that ball out of bounds, and the passes were planned. And what a great finish at the end. Weekly to get that ball to Trentino. What a job by the Bulldogs in transition.
8-point lead.
Wiedericht's had a frustrated night, and he lets it out on that bad screen, going with an elbow up high on McCauley. Here's the last bucket. Look at Weekly with this kind of touch pass in traffic to Trentino. And then a frustration shines through on the other end with a foul away from the ball. This is the stretch of the season for Mannheim.
Wiedericht now with 3 personals. And West York. Well, they're spreading out the entire floor. McCauley will take it back out front. Well, they seem to be in no hurry whatsoever to be taking a shot.
Well, 8 points in the fourth quarter is plenty to eat up some clock.
Oh, and they answer it with a 3 from Trentino.
Make it 11. What a possession. Took about a minute off the clock and ends with a 3.
Barons desperately need some points. Walsh open top of the key and he answers.
Quick timeout on the floor. When you need a bucket, there's your man.
19 points in the ball game now for Matt Walsh. It's an 8-point Bulldog lead, but kind of saw that Dean Smith four-corner offense, for that minute and a half, and Trentino was the guy that finished it off with the 3.
Gosh, Trentino, silent assassin. The guy makes little to no impact defensively. We haven't seen him handle the ball much offensively, but I think he's got 3 threes. The guy just kind of cruising around the three-point line and just buries these things.
6 threes in the ball game for the Bulldogs. Matt Walsh, he has 4, and Taylor Funk with 1. So we've got 11 threes when it's all said and done.
Take a look at this as Walsh's last one. Nice double screen down low, frees him outside. Had to have it. 5:15 to go. Back to an 8-point game.
Well, this is where when the Manheim Central defense stepped it up in the second quarter. They created the turnovers, finished plays off at the other end, and turned what was a 12-point deficit down to just 2. But we have 5 minutes remaining, and here is a steal by Wiedericht. He'll go the distance and finish it. And McCauley is going to be called for a travel.
Huge moment right there to get the ball right back. Now you're back in striking distance, just under 5. Funk checks back in.
Boy, you gotta like that too. That they waste no time getting back down the floor. You figure they might catch the Barons a little slow in transition, and it's paid off a couple of times for West York. But that time McCauley whistled for the travel. And now a chance for Manheim Central to cut down that deficit.
Oh, Flanagan was 1 beat away from drawing the defense in and a kick out to Funk for 3. Credit West York. Clayton Fry getting there and knocking that ball out of bounds.
Four and a half minutes remaining. Stafiri working on Einting, almost lost it. Wiedericht got it. Boy, Dan Wiedericht stepping up here in the fourth quarter.
Well, for 2 quarters, I've been saying he's the guy. We got to get him going. Got to get some points out of Wiedericht or any shot here late in the fourth. And he comes up with that 3. And look at West York's response.
They can't finish, and there's Wiedericht with a rebound.
If you're Coach Ackerman, you're going crazy. Why are we shooting so quickly? We're giving the ball right back. Remember that 1-minute possession we had?
Wiedericht. Funk tried the follow-up, and it wouldn't go.
Those are ones you got to get back.
Oh, my. Boy, that is one they definitely want back, but a timeout called by Ensing as he was feeling the trapping defense of the Barons. 3:45 to go, and boy, a couple of big buckets. 11 points, now down to 3.
It's down to 3, but man, you're still shaking your head saying, how do you guys miss that one underneath? But take a look here, Wiedericht stepping up after his defender left to try to trap and double team Stafiri. Wiedericht buries that 3. Manheim has all that life, but to miss those other ones right there at the rim. Somehow now you're in your huddle, shaking that off.
Well, that's the thing. You have to have a very short memory. Just forget about it and move on.
If you're Ackerman, if you're in that West York huddle right now, you're saying, guys, what happened? 2 minutes ago, we were in complete control. Everything was within our grasp. And all of a sudden, you guys totally decided to go back to playing first quarter style, throw it all over the place. It's a fourth quarter now. Time is to win a game. Eat some clock, control the ball. They got 3 or 4 guys on floor who can handle the ball. We've seen them do that. 3 or 4 guys who can shoot threes if anybody's left open.
And again, that's where if some other Baron can find that stroke because you know that the West York defense is going to shade toward Matt Walsh.
And what's interesting, though, in the last few possessions, they switched up who was on Walsh. McCauley had moved on, and the player who was guarding him is now back on the bench. So it'll be McCauley on Walsh now, probably until the finish. Probably give him a breather.
Because Rice was on him for a while.
Yep.
McCauley will put it on the floor, go in strong, can't get it to go. Rice with the rebound, and he's fouled on the follow-up.
Oh, you hate to give up those second chance opportunities. McCauley took an awkward, off-balance shot. That's all you can ask for late in the game. But there's K.C. Rice, another just absolute gamer for this team. Senior year, gets to play at the Giants Center. Not ready to see things come to an end. Comes up with that board.
And this is the first.
He was setting me up, I was going to say, and makes a free throw, but he missed it. Unbelievable, back to a three-point ball game.
He'll get one out of two. So it is a 4-point lead. And it is McCauley on Walsh. Funk for three. Too strong. Tapped around. Stafiri with a nice save. Gets it to Wiedericht. And boy, nice ball control by Wiedericht. Flanagan for three. That's off the mark, but the Barons get it back again. Wiedericht can't get the shot. Oh, 4 chances for the Barons. And the ball still loose. Picked up by West York.
Well, just a wild sense of just complete disarray on the floor for a moment there.
And that's going to be Stafiri. Oh my, the opportunities for Manheim Central that last time down the floor.
There's still 2.5 minutes to go here. You're right, that had that kind of awkward last 10 seconds feeling. Just throw the ball at the rim and pray it goes in. As they come up with the board on the 1-and-1.
Funk to Flanagan, and Flanagan inside. He now has 6 points.
Some great composure from one of the few seniors on this squad.
Rice for three. Got it.
Big time players stepping up in crucial moments. Kevin Rice steps right up, and that's your dagger three right there. 2:15 to go.
Boy, he just kind of camped out in the corner.
That's the man's spot. He knows it.
And the Barons lost track as to where he was, and he was left wide open, and he finishes it with a three.
On one end, Taylor Funk leading the break. You were almost afraid he was going to get called for an offensive foul, but he makes the dish at the right time. Flanagan finishes. On the other end, K.C. Rice waiting. Look at the ladies on the end of the bench. They love it. Like, that's our Kevin.
So the Bulldog lead is 5. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Waiting in the wings on Monday, the Bermudian Springs Eagles, the number 6 seed. They won in the game prior to this one, beating Boiling Springs 52-29.
Which is a pretty surprising score in this tournament. But for the Bermudian Springs, they don't have a guy on the roster listed over 5'10".
Wow.
And they just ran Boiling Springs off the court. Boiling Springs, a traditionally very solid AAA team year after year. Reliable program.
Stafiri tried to get it down low to Wiedericht, and there's the Bulldog defense forcing the turnover.
And there's McCauley pulling it out. Let's eat some clock. .145 remaining.
Staffieri almost. Yeah, there it is. You
They're trying to say the ball was tipped. It doesn't matter. The problem is Bailey caught the ball and then his foot slid back across the line.
That's right. So the backcourt violation and one official.
The ball was tipped, but look, he lands and then his foot slides across the line. It was that second step.
Right. It didn't change possessions, or possession, I should say. Flanagan works his way inside and able to draw the foul.
And Rice saying I'm straight up and down, but they've been very consistent calling these fouls down in the low post and underneath the hoop all night long. They've really let the offensive player initiate that contact, and they've consistently called that foul on both teams tonight.
Foul is on Bailey, his second. So Josh Flanagan at the line for the first time tonight.
That's all you can ask for. Flanagan.
One of the few seniors on this team, 5.5 points per game. 56% from the free throw line, gets both.
Look at him hustling all over the court.
A 3-point lead.
And he causes the turnover. What a job by Josh Flanagan. All by himself. He called up the zone press. He said, I'll do it all by myself. Nobody there was even there to help him. And he forces Casey Rice to throw the ball right out of bounds.
1:11 left. 3-point Bulldog lead. Well, you think about where the Barons were at one point in this ball game. You go all the way back to the first quarter, down 12, when West York couldn't miss anything, and have battled back.
Why doesn't anybody set a screen right there at McCauley, that far away from the basket, and let Walsh just drive? Somebody set that man a screen. Instead, he's got to run into double teams.
Walsh going down the lane. Follows it up. We got a whistle and we got a foul. Ensing called for the foul. And it's going to be his third. And Matt Walsh to shoot 2.
And nobody in this gym could hear that whistle. Electrified here in the final minute. Matt Walsh. No hesitation. His standard quick rhythm at the line. Steps right up and knocked it down to make it a 1-point game.
And he does. Bailey. Oh, and McCauley had it underneath and it went right off his fingertips.
Strange things happen when the game is on the line. What a drive by Bailey. And really what's going on there is McCauley's thinking, just pull it out. Let's need some more time. He's not expecting the ball to come to him.
Well, once again, there's McCauley down in that low post with nobody around him.
Yeah. Well, Mannheim's so aggressive with those traps up high.
Walsh, he's going to be fouled out front. He got the bucket. They got the continuation. Walsh with the bucket and a foul on Bailey.
Well, how many times have we said this year? You got to stop the ball. Matt Walsh driving right down Main Street. McCauley, who's shut him down for the most of the quarter, is nowhere to be found. Bailey with an extremely weak attempt at putting a hand on him. And Matt Walsh, so strong in the paint, steps right in there and buries it. Barons lead.
And a chance to make it a 2-point lead, and he does.
No timeout from West York.
15 seconds to go. Rice for 3. Got it! Staffieri up the floor. Brent Eyes. Go! He got it!
Brent Eyes!
Ball game! Barons win it! Incredible.
You had said, who else is going to step up and take some pressure off of Matt Walsh? The guy had made every shot you asked him to make all night. 7 seconds to go. They don't call a timeout. Walsh is calling for the ball trailing. Steferi pushes it ahead, and Tanner Brenice, a guy who does the dirty work, a guy who commits fouls, a guy who cleans up the boards, buries a 3 at the Giants Center to take down a potential favorite in this tournament.
Well, and the thing is, Rice comes back after Walsh finishes the three-point play and hits a huge 3. I don't think Brenice, that's not the guy I thought was going to take the shot.
I don't think it's what Chris Sherwood would have wanted to have taken the shot.
Wow.
And I don't mean that with any ounce of disrespect.
No.
But the guy, so, okay, here's Rice from NBA range. No hesitation, buries it. On the other end, Brenice with bodies flying at him and just calmly buries a 3 at the buzzer. And the thing is, this is the only critique we have of Walsh all night. He didn't put himself in a position on the court where he would have even been able to get a decent look. He was trailing, just looking for a handoff. Wasn't enough time on the clock for that. Credits to Ferry for kind of recognizing that, pushing it ahead, finding somebody who's open, and give all the credit in the world to Tanner Brenice. A moment he will never forget. Tanner Brenice, you will tell your grandchildren about this one. Look at that, with his tongue out, with his tongue out.
Unbelievable. All right, well, Tanner Brenice with that bucket sets the stage now. And I tell you what, the Barons just continue to give us drama game after game after game. They will now be back here at the Giants Center Monday night to take on Bermudian Springs. If you want to come out, tip-off is at 6:30. We'll have it for you on a tape delay basis. Manheim Central in a thriller beats West York 51-49. For Mike Straub, I am Eric May. We will be back here Monday night on BRC 11. Good night, everybody.